is far higher than the price of change. This is a quote that was given by then the president of US, Bill Clinton. And a lot of us needs to understand that you're living in a fast-paced changing world. What is trendy today is obsolete tomorrow. And it is, if you don't adapt to these fast changes as a leader, soon or later you might find yourself out of business. And the reason why change is mostly challenging for most people is because we lack the skills, or we lack the knowledge of knowing how to change, on what to change. There is need for us to upskill ourselves so that we can change well, we can be able to move with transition and not be out of business. Now, there are basically three types of categories that are presented when change is being presented, and it is very, very important for you as a leader to mark those three categories. Even you as the implementer of change, is also good for you to understand from which categories do you belong. We owe this resource to John Maxwell in his book Developing the Leader Within You, a 1993 publication. In this book, he shares basically three types of persons. The first category that comes to mind is what we call innovators. Now, these are the brainchild of every change, and they are the policymakers. They sit there, they are able to say, now this is not working, this is what we need to bring about. They are the birth, they are the people who birth changes. Now, in most cases, they are dismissed, they are downplayed, they are dismissed. People don't believe in them. They are change strategists actually, they are the change strategists, and for them they are champions. Now, in most organizations, they are not many, they account to 5 to 10%. Now, if they are not the ones who have come, who have birthed this change, then they will embrace the change. They will shake your hand, and they will make the change, and they will embrace their pledge to the support. Now, a champion, given their energy, can give you the false impression of the situation of the ground, because they are so enthusiastic, they are into it, they want it to happen in tomorrow. Now, and because of that enthusiasm and that naivety, sometimes they will not question the red flags, and they will not challenge the proposal. And because for real, innovators are not reality checkers, and so as a change strategist, you need to deal with them with some skepticism. Okay, but they are good, because without them they cannot be changed. Without them, things will remain would remain as they are. If there are no innovators, then you can expect the world to remain as it is forever and ever. Amen. Now, the second important category in change management is what we call adopters. Now, interesting enough is that these people also falls into three categories. There is what we call early adopters. Now, the early adopters, they take some time to embrace change, but the best thing about them is that they are very good at convincing others to embrace change. They have a lot of influential power. They have very strong persuasive skills. They are able to lobby everyone to join the change, and these people are actually chasers. They chase the change. They want to ensure that the change is there. Now, for them, the numbers are very impressive, because they account for 15 to 20%. One of the interesting things is that they don't immediately jump into with excitement to the proposal. They will first want to discuss your idea with others, and they would want to create what we call a buy-in culture. They would want to go to the opposition. They would want to get to middle people. They would want to do a lot of consultation in the view of, and try to understand what is it that you really want. And they will seek the opinion of the leader, and to trigger the decision. They would want to know, what is it that you are thinking? Why did you say this? Why are you proposing this? This is in a way to build up their information, to build up data to support whether to back on the decision or to negate it. Now, they are ego-like. You know, they are ego-like, and when we say they are ego-like, we are simply saying they test before they trust. And since they are chasers, we can trust their opinion, because before they trust, before they endorse the change, they will first test. And so their opinion on the change that we are about to make is really honest. The good thing about these early adopters, once they join the course, we can count on them. They will go with us all the way. The other down, but there is also a downside in which if a key influencer does not endorse the proposed change, the problem with the early adopters is that they will not give their nod of approval, they will not support, they will not put their hand into it. And so it is very important when you're introducing change to look around, to shop around for key influencers, seek their opinion, and let them give their opinion of nod of approval, so that you can be able to woo the 15 to 20% of early adopters. Now, the second type of adopters is what we call middle adopters. Now, these ones, as opposed to the early adopters, now these ones are a little bit more reasonable in the analysis of the proposed change, because these we can categorize them as converts. The beautiful thing is that the numbers of middle adopters is a bit higher. It's actually account to 30 to 40%. Now, for them, they will simply reason to the presentation once, and they will not basically ask questions. And they just want to swallow up the information. They want to synthesize the information, and they will ask the question: is this project, is this idea, is this change viable, is it good? You know, and so they will engage you into question. They will ask you question, and as a good leader, as a prudent leader, it is very, very important for you to answer the question in their minds. So mentally go through the question. Put yourself in the shoes of a middle adopter, and answer as many questions as you would want to answer to satisfy the 30 to 40%. Remember, this is a huge backing. If these people would join your proposed change, then you are there to stay for long, and you are sure that the change will take root. It will fly off through the roof. And so you can imagine if it's a product launch, if you have 30 to 40% of people saying this is a product we need to buy, this is a product that we need to have, then you can be assured that those sales are big, they're impressive. The good thing about once they buy into the proposed change, then you can be assured that they will bring a whole lot of people, you know, and it ensures that the change is adopted very quickly. The good side about these converts is that though they are slow to accept the change, but again they are also slow to let it go. Once they embrace the change, once they say yes to the product, once they say yes to that change, they are very slow to let it go. They can stick to you, and so even when your company is going down the drain, you can be assured that 30 to 40 people will stick around with you, as long as you keep assuring them that you are good to go. And you can also use them to keep the company going, because they are slow to let go, you know. And one of the quickest ways of bringing these middle adopters is to generate what we call a list of frequent asked questions and answer them, because this will basically do an advantage to you. It will reduce attention to them and increase the acceptance level from the middle adopters. Okay, and but again, I also understand, and it is very important to understand, that the middle adopters will take a longer time to take the change, while the early adopters jump into it with little analysis. This one will take time before they are satisfied. Remember, they test before they trust. Okay, then we have within the adopters, we have what we call late adopters. Now, initially these people can be a discouragement, because they will speak ill will speak against change, okay, and mostly they will not speak about the change positively and publicly. However, you can be assured once they have bought into the change, then you are good to go. The numbers are not very impressive, but it's not a number to ignore because they account 15 to 20%. So if you factor in the 30 to 40% of middle adopters, then you combine this with 15 to 20%, which gives us 60. Then you can be assured if it's a product launch, you are in a good situation. The problem is that these people will continuously ask very difficult questions. Sometimes the questions are confrontational, and they simply make you, as the presenter of the change, as the person battling the change, look foolish and awkward in their presence. Now, you need to understand something, that the questioning that they are putting forward to you, those awkward questions, those confrontational questions, are not necessarily a personal attack, but again, they just want to seek for clarification. They simply want to understand. And if you are mature enough, you can take their question, go back to the drawing board, and be able to address the concerns that they are actually raising. Because most often than not, these are the gray areas, these are the red flags, these are the gaps that the those who birth the vision, the innovators actually missed to address. And so it is very, very important for you to go through those questions, because they will give you a realistic outlook of what your change is looking. It will just tell you what is it that you did not address, the critical concerns that needs to be addressed. But again, you need to understand that they can become a liability because they can distract your change management process with their questions, and so it's good to it's prudent to respond to the challenger's question with calmness. Please don't get irritated, don't throw tantrums, stay firm, and don't allow their questioning to distract you. Stick with a plan, but again, go to the drawing board, see what can be amended so that you can also put 15 to 20% on the board. Now, so in every change management, there are innovators who are quick to buy into the product. Then there are adopters, which are classified into three: the early, the middle, and then the late adopters. But again, number three, we have what we call the laggards. Now, the laggards are almost close to what we call the late adopters. The difference is that with the laggards, with the late adopters, they take time before they buy in. They join into the change management. With the laggards, they are forever on the opposition camp. They create division. They will forever be opposed to change. These are change phobics. They don't want to change. They fear change, so they fight change. The numbers are not very good because they account to 5 to 10%, almost equal to what we call the innovators. It's good to know that. Now, for them, they are guided by the mantra, it will never work. For them, they believe it will never work, so they're immovable, they are tough to deal with, and it's an uphill task to actually convince them. If you give them opportunity, especially within the implementation phase, actually they will delay the change because they don't want to change. Remember, they are change phobics, and they're difficult to handle. But again, it's also good for you as a change strategist to reason to them, because they will give you hints why this idea is not good. They will give you red flags, just as the late adopters, on areas that you need to change. But remember, this group is not there to support the change process. They are here to make sure that the initiative that you are making, the change process that you're making, come to a halt, come to a stop. And so it's good for you as a change strategist to keep on the morale, to inspire people, and you must look for ethical ways of removing them from the game before they give the fatal plan to your initiative. Okay, and in the Bible, actually, we have these laggards. A good example is Sanballat. Now, and if you look at Sanballat, there are things that he did to make sure that the plan does not work. One of them is that he was very angry against Nehemiah. Number two, he used mockery and sarcasm to oppose the rebuilding of the walls. Number three, he even employed threats and intimidation. In Nehemiah chapter 4 verse 8 and 11, we see they made all the plans to Jerusalem to come and start up trouble. You know why? So that the walls will not go up. They also, these laggards, who also use discouragement. They will speak in a discouraging way to make sure that they break the enthusiasm, that the passion within the people, it wanes and goes down. That's how those are some of the tricks that they use. They would also use fear. And so it is very important for you as a leader to be able to understand these three categories so that they don't stop you, so that you are able to prepare yourself to deal with them, and even as you present the change, so that you are able to go to the next level. This is Marketplace Media, an online platform that engages, equips, and encourages believers to say inawezekana. Thanks so much for watching. This particular broadcast has been sponsored by Freshworld Computers. If you're looking for a computer, a laptop, live streaming gadget, CCTV installation, computer repair, and advisory, please contact them. They are located along Tomboya Street in Dominion House, opposite Imenti House. Their contact is 0722 399 091. Freshworld Computers, we've got you. We believe that this particular broadcast has been a blessing to you. If it has, please give this particular episode a like, and please comment. And thanks so much for watching. Until next time, my name is John Kimani. Remember, this is Conversations on Leadership, where we say inawezekana.